Why don't I read, this one is just for fun. I don't think it has anything too deep. It's about an alien, or believing I was an alien. So, I believed, hoped, and prayed I was adopted, but everyone told me I looked just like my mother and had my father's eyes. I examined my mother's childhood pictures. Except for the odd clothes, it was me. I felt so out of place in my family, I was sure something was wrong. I had the body of their daughter, but not the spirit. Perhaps there had been a soul mix-up. It was summer. I was in my bedroom staring into the mirror that had been my grandmother's. There was a slight wave in it, and I liked how it made me look distorted. As I stared, I went away. My body was there, but I was not. My body walked in and out of upstairs bedrooms feeling floaty. The mouth opened, but could not talk. My body went back to the mirror and watched me return. I was back to normal, but not the same. Something had happened, and it was not my imagination. I wanted to tell someone, but there was no one to tell. Dad was a scientist and a Republican. You can't tell them things like this. My brothers would smell my fear and use it against me. My mother would tell me to quit making up stories and dust the living room. I tried to figure it out myself. I snuck into my parents' bedroom, disrobed, and stood in front of my mother's mirror. No changes I could see. I heard my mother coming up the stairs and ran into the closet. I heard the bedroom door open. What the heck? She found my clothes laying on the floor. Sharon! I came out wearing one of her aprons. Before she recovered from shock, I asked her to take my temperature. Are you sick? I nodded. She felt my forehead. You're fine. Get dressed and stay out of my room. I went back to grandmother's mirror and tried to do it again, but couldn't. Twilight Zone was on that night. Every week I made a case for why I should be allowed to watch it, which included a cross-my-heart promise if I watched it, I would not have a nightmare. This episode was The Eye of the Beholder, about a woman who had her 11th surgery to become beautiful. If this didn't work, she will live with others who are also too ugly to be seen. The bandages are removed and reveal a classic Miss America-type beauty. The unseen nurse says, I'm sorry, and hands her a mirror. She screams and runs from the room into the arms of the most gorgeous man I'd ever seen. It'll be all right. You'll be happier with us. The camera zooms out. The nurse and doctor had pig snouts. They were aliens. Aliens. This could explain everything. My real parents were aliens, and so was I. They took the human soul from this body and replaced it with mine. They used the mirror to contact me. Being raised by a scientist, I was trained to look for logical explanations. Maybe that's why the aliens chose him to be my father. I decided my mirror experience was the first of many more to come. The aliens were preparing me for the takeover. I hoped I wouldn't have to hurt my family. The thought of having to destroy them bothered me. That was when I realized I had grown fond of the aliens. I had grown fond of the humans. I dumped all my clothes, toys, and books on my floor. I chose favorites and stuffed them in my cardboard suitcase. My brother tattled. My mother's command to not step 1 foot out of the room until every single thing is back exactly where it belongs did not bother me. I wanted to touch each possession one last time. I spent more time with my dog and pleaded with the aliens to let me bring him with me. I stared at the people in my family, hoping to keep the memory. They noticed and yelled at me. So I challenged my brothers to staring contests and gazed at my parents when they weren't looking. I stayed in my room for days, waiting for instructions. I had one more experience with the mirror, but it was just like the first. When nothing new happened, I got bored and decided the aliens smart enough to exchange souls could find me wherever I was. I played outside with my friends, but was mindful of the sky. I grew up, got married, had children, rarely thought about aliens, but wept profusely when E.T. wanted to phone home. One day, my 5-year-old daughter was being a brat, demanding I buy her something she did not need and I could not afford. In a voice that surprised us both, I hissed, I'm not your mother. I'm an alien that has taken her body. She burst in tears and wouldn't let me touch her for a week. This has made her top 10 list of childhood traumas. I no longer believe I have an alien soul, but when we cleared out my parents' apartment, I took my grandmother's mirror. My father taught me to doubt what I think I know and be open to possibilities.
Well done. Well done. I love that. I love how you write from the child's perspective and the child's voice.
Yeah, I just feel like a kid inside.